Probably the thing I'm least proud of that I did, and I don't think is okay. The more I think about it, is riding an ostrich, like you alluded to. Because the more you think about it, they got 2 legs. They probably weigh as much as me.
Yeah.
And then I'm hopping on with nothing to hold on to, but their wings, and you don't want to.
That's wild that you rode a bird, isn't it? Isn't that crazy?
And I got bucked off it because he didn't want me on, but it's kind of sad because, what am I going to hold other than their wings, which are, part of their body?
No, they don't use them anyway.
It's true. Hey, let's go. Welcome to the show. I'm Spencer.
I'm Brandon.
Oh, you. Always a delight.
Oh.
I'm sad, though. You forgot to be a new... What have you been doing? You did the beef. You did...
That's because you did a different type of meeting this time.
Oh, okay.
Like other kind of meeting, it asked me to type my name. This
that's
virtual
true.
meeting is a different type, so I didn't get to choose my name this time.
We're trying some new things. You just went to Mexico.
I did just go to Mexico. You're right.
That's so cool. How was it?
Well, Spencer, this was my first time since I was 17 going to Mexico. The first time I went to Mexico, I walked across the San Diego border into Tijuana, and that was a big difference for a for a high school boy with only his friends, no parents around to experience Mexico that way. But so it's been flash forward a couple of decades, and
but I've seen pictures of, I've never been to Tijuana, but I've seen pictures of how it's divided and everything and how it is crazy. But it's also weird that you could just walk across the border to Tijuana.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's you walk across the border and you're already there. So it's just crazy that there's walking distance separating you from our normal way of life into a brand new country, with very different way of life and different language and all that stuff, with just a fence. It's not a fence, but I mean, there's probably just a fence, but I mean, we had to go through, we didn't run across like a field to get in there. We went through border patrol area, but
they just let you go and say, if you don't come back, we don't care.
That's the thing, right? They let a 17-year-old, I mean, this is pre 9/11, but they just let a 17-year-old kid just walk across the border without his parents.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was on a trip with my friends that had just graduated high school. So I was a junior, becoming a senior, but they had just graduated, and there's their senior trip, and I tagged along. We did have my friend's older brother with us. He was like 22, 25, 23, something like that. He was our chaperone, but he was actually more less mature than the rest of us, so
that's
it was just the chaperone in name only. But
what did he get out of it?
I think we paid for the gas for the trip and paid for his hotel, and he liked hanging out with us, so he's still a good friend, so it was fine. It was just a way for us to tell our parents, look, Tim's coming with us. He's an adult, so we should be able to go. He was actually married at the time too, so that even lent more, credence to his adulthood. But still, anyway.
So when you got across the border for that first time, what did you guys go do? Just explore? Did you get kidnapped in a van?
We were murdered. All of us died. It was all across the national news at the time. No, just fooling. I'm actually still alive. I wasn't murdered. we
Just
walked across.
fooling.
We walked across and we did some shopping. I got some fake Oakleys. That was my number one priority, was to get some fake sunglasses that looked real, like real cool ones.
Yeah. Okay.
We did get coaxed into a bar so that we could ride a mechanical bull. And the price of riding the bull was we had to buy a beer, and the guy just looked at my ID and was like, "Yeah, you're 18," like even though I was 17.
Oh gosh, we're getting
it was
into an
that
accent.
year I was turning 18, like a couple months away. But anyway, so he let us. So we all went in there. None of us were drinkers, and so there was like 6 of us, and we all bought beers, and we like slid them down to the guy at the one guy at the end of the bar that he had the best day of his life all of a sudden. So the funny thing is, in that bar they were watching Teletubbies, which was strange to me to see that, but we did get a ride on the mechanical bull, and it was pretty awesome. So
watch Teletubbies and ride a mechanical bull. I like it.
We saw a donkey that was spray painted to look like a zebra that they were like having people take pictures with. Come take a picture with a zebra, and it was clearly a donkey. But
I like how you resisted the accent that time.
No, sorry, I just didn't.
Come take a picture with.
Yeah, I can fake that if you want, but
no, it's okay. So that sounds fun. I've never been to Mexico. That sounds like a delight.
Mm-hmm.
So how did adult Brandon, officially of drinking age, like Mexico? We went to Cabo St. Lucas?
Cabo San Lucas.
Cabo
San. Say Los Cabos, because I think
Los Cabos.
A couple of Cabos down there. I don't know, but we went there for a surprise birthday party for one of our friends. His wife has been working on this for over a year, I think, trying to keep it a secret, and invited a bunch of his friends. So we were going down there, no kids, just adults, and we only knew. Oh, go ahead.
I need to know the surprise part. So the surprise part, he didn't know you guys were going to go, or he didn't know where you were going, or
so he was already there. He went there. He went there the day before us with him and one other couple. So he thought that was his 40th birthday present from his wife, was this trip with their really good friends. And then the next day at dinner time, he shows up to this kind of fancy dinner on the beach, and there's let's see, how many more people?
I think you said 8 couples.
12. Yeah, so there's 12 more people there. So there's us and 5 other couples that were invited on top of the ones that were already there. So he comes down the stairs and we say surprise, and he's just blown. His mind zips right out of his brain. And
that's such a cool 40th birthday.
Yeah. But his birthday was a couple days before, so I wish that it would have aligned with his actual birthday.
But, well, maybe for 50, when you guys go to Italy.
Yeah, when we go to Italy for his 50th birthday. I mean, she should probably surprise him on his 49th birthday, because that seems like it really get him, because he's looking forward to 50. What is she going to do? It happens. So I'll suggest that to her. But but yeah, so we go to Cabo. We stay at this really nice resort and on the beach, and it was like as beautiful as all the pictures you see. It's incredible. But the thing that I found is that the resort that we were at was pretty far from town, from anywhere else. Actually, it was just kind of its own place, and there was a couple other resorts next to it, but all it was resort,
Yeah.
And so we were at the mercy of the resort for food and anything like that, unless we wanted to get an Uber to go into a town or a market or something, and the Uber was like $20 each way to do that. So you're like, so what I'm getting at is that the restaurants and things were very expensive.
Yes.
And so we had breakfast, and it was $70, and I'm like, $70 for breakfast. I mean, Mexico, everything was supposed to be cheaper down here.
Supposed to be.
But
that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. And so we were, at the mercy of them. But we did get out of the resort a couple times, and I did find like the cheaper stuff, and it was actually even better. It was more delicious and
More
good than.
authentic, probably.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it was really good. We did go to like a market, and they had like all these pastries, and they were like 15 cents each. And so we just kind of loaded up on those and had those for breakfast. Uh, so, going from a $70 breakfast to a 30-cent breakfast is a big difference. But we were there in Mexico, and I kissed a camel on the lips
Ooh,
while I was there,
ew.
which you wouldn't expect to do in Mexico, but I guess that's something that they offer. So that's
Why
good.
why didn't you is it the camel more shocking or that you had the chance to kiss the camel?
Probably the camel is
'Cause
more shocking.
yeah, because
So
isn't it weird that like I don't know how to put this delicately, but I feel like sometimes we're so sheltered or just like focused in on where we live that we forget other countries have exactly what we have.
yeah,
In a lot of ways, right? I mean, we
right.
we don't have camels native, but I don't know that they
Yeah.
do either, right?
They don't
But
either because I guess they can't breed the camels there. They have to import them. That's like a
from
rule.
Egypt,
Wherever they come from, Egypt, Middle East, or something.
yeah.
They do have the only camel ever born in Cabo San Lucas there because they shipped the camel over to them pregnant. They didn't, the
Oh,
people that sent it didn't know the camel was pregnant at the time. And when they got it, they
what?
thought she was sick, but turns out she had a baby. So they're like, it was a 2-for-1 deal. What a great deal. So I guess they lose their humps if they're not in a like desert, like
Yeah, they
environment
don't
where
need to
they
hold the
need,
water.
if
Huh.
they don't need to have to hold the water or whatever, then their humps get smaller and smaller, and they end up looking like giant llamas. So,
Wow. The more you
which they
know.
are part of a llama family, by the way.
Huh.
But
I didn't know
I
any of
kissed the
this.
camel because they gave us carrots to feed them and to take a picture with them, and they said you can put it in your mouth and have them bite it out for you, and bite it from you, and they were like thought that nobody would do it, but then all the guys were doing it, so I was like, I gotta one up this, and so I stuck it in really far so the camel had to come close, and I gave it a kiss. I felt the little
Oh, the
fuzzy
tug.
hairs on its lips. I didn't feel that
Oh.
it wasn't a French kiss. Don't I, that the camel was only 4 years old. I wouldn't go that far, but
But how much is that in camel years?
no, that's true. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that is
But it
impressive to one
But it was
up.
pretty magical to ride because this was at sunset. So we had actually just done a UTV tour. It was a UTV camel ride package deal. So we rode side by sides for about an hour along the beach. The water's coming up at you. Then you kind of go inland a little bit off some like windy kind of back roads and stuff, and then come to do the camel ride. And camel ride was pretty quick. It was just kind of down along the beach and back. There was just a guy walking, holding them the whole time in a big line. But it was
Wow.
still pretty fun to be on there. There's 2 people per camel. They can handle me and my wife together on there. I guess they can hold
Yeah.
like up to 900 pounds, if you can
Wow.
believe that. That seems like a lot, but
Does seem like a lot.
it was stunning. The beach, the water. We
Did you
just relaxed there.
were you just humming music from Aladdin in your head while
It was
you
funny.
were
They gave
riding the
you the
camel?
option to wear like the, it wasn't a turban, but it was like the ones you see them wearing with like the around the top, and then you have like a
Yeah.
band around it. They had a bunch of those that you could wear. I felt kind of like that was like cultural appropriation or something. Like
I
like I'd be put like if I was riding horses and I put on like a Indian headdress or something. I feel like it was kind of the same thing. And so nobody in our group put those on, but then you'd see a bunch of people like riding past us on other camels that they all had them on. And I was like, okay, that's fine for them. I did find out that like our group is the only people that read the instructions on what you're supposed to do, because they said that like you had to wear closed-toed shoes and long pants if you're gonna do the rides and stuff.
you
And then we
can't.
get there and everybody's in flip-flops and shorts except for our group. Like the Mormon folk from Utah are are rule followers and everybody else not. So
such rule followers.
Such rule followers. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, actually. It was more fun than I thought it was going to be. And now I can say I've ridden a camel. I mean, you've ridden an exotic creature. You rode an ostrich once.
I know. I was wondering if maybe this episode should be us not comparing exotic trips, but sharing exotic trips. Because I've ridden an ostrich. So, you want to do that? Do you want me just to go into some Thailand?
You can go to Thailand in just a second. I just want to say that this didn't really feel like an exotic trip because we were because I never really, I mean, we went into town for one night for about an hour and a half and we just got some food and bought some, went to some souvenir shops, right? So I didn't go, it didn't seem like in Cabo they didn't have like a historic downtown or a big area where there's a giant mission or like old timey stuff that you go to or something like super culturally relevant, right? And so it didn't really feel, it just felt like I was at a really nice resort in a really beautiful spot, and that's about it.
That kind of tracks with what I imagine when people say they're like going to Mexico or whatever. It's to go to a resort, it's to go sit on the beach, and it's just to have drinks and relax all day while you're there.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like that's par for the course for what you did, only you were mentally prepared for that.
No, I mean, that's not my typical type of vacation, right? My vacations are nonstop.
Planned down to the minute.
And so just sitting around and chatting with people, was fun and it was nice and it was good, but but the whole time I was thinking, shouldn't we be doing something? Should we be going somewhere?
No.
What's the plan? What's happening right now?
This is the future. This is the future of your trips.
I know. But that does get me closer and closer to one day going on a cruise.
Ooh.
So we'll see that. But I do think, because I've always felt like cruises were just sitting around on a boat doing nothing, but cruise ships nowadays
have everything.
They're like little cities. Lots of stuff to do. So it's not the same. So I might be going on a cruise, and I'll keep you updated on that sometime in the future.
I'm more and more getting on board with a cruise as well, because I think it could be fun.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead and so that's my Mexico trip. It was just, we had one excursion. We had a birthday. It was really fun to meet some new people. We only knew the birthday couple. We didn't know any of the other people, but everybody was super nice, and they were very attractive. And I was kind of sad about how I look, because I need a haircut. and I'm thinking, do these people feel like I should be here? Obviously Carrie should, but me personally, do I fit in with these people that seem like they're better looking than me?
You felt like you were the what do they call it? The ugly friend.
Yeah.
That is it? Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
There's a specific saying for this.
I think there's a definition. Yeah, there's a. Let me see. What does duff mean in slang? Is that what it is?
Oh, a duff? I mean, there was a movie about the duff. I was the duff.
Standing for a designated, you're not ugly or a fat friend, but that's what you felt like.
A little bit.
The designated ugly fat friend, duff, is a rude, though often humorous term people use for the one friend who makes you look better.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
I don't think you fit that description.
I should have went to the tanning salon before I went. I mean, we just came out of Christmas, so I have a little extra poundage on me,
It's totally fine. I think you were perfect.
Oh, thank you.
You're just being critical.
It is. I do wish that I could hear people's conversations about like, oh man, the Petersons are so nice and so funny, or like what people really think of me. Like, do they like talking to this stranger that all of a sudden showed up on this trip? Because there's like four of them that knew each other. Four
Yeah.
couples, they knew each other and the person, and then there was that one other couple that came up with them earlier, and then another one. So there's three couples that didn't know anybody else, and there was four couples that knew each other.
some.
So, and
I'm sure they
so they
did.
had friends, but
You're very easy to talk to, and
I am easy
entertaining.
to talk to.
Entertaining, as we know, you're the most approachable human being on
Yeah.
this planet. So
That's true.
Yeah,
I am.
You're the most approachable.
Yeah, but I tried to be a little bit more outgoing and approachable. So anyway, I hope they liked me.
Sure,
I liked everybody. They were all great, all the people. So it was really fun to meet some new people, and there you go. It makes you feel like when you go on that kind of trip, it's like, man, we're gonna start hanging out with these people all the time now. I probably never see them again in my life, but that's
I mean, for my sake,
have.
I hope so, because that means less time I would get with you.
Right, exactly. But you start thinking like, oh man, we're friends now. We're gonna see these people, but no, probably not. Everybody's lives are busy, and it seems like it's hard
You
to
slowly
make
retreat
new
back to
friends.
normal. You want to,
Yeah.
you want to get back to your just normal.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's just talk about one more exotic trip I had, I guess. Again, not to like one up you or anything, but I think it was like 2 weeks after we had met.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Thailand, so I was just a young,
and I was reminded almost daily for probably 2 years about you going to Thailand. Like, well, when I was in Thailand,
you wish you're like, why don't you bring up Thailand more? Like, why would I? Cool things we did in Thailand. So it's probably one of that, or Japan was, well, Thailand would be the most exotic thing I went to. So we went to Bangkok, which is the capital city, and it was kind of the lamest part, just like a giant big city of just grossness.
Mm-hmm.
At least where we were, except for the parts where we went to like the king's palace. That was pretty cool.
Like the current king, they have a king right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if he is still alive. It's been like 9 years, and I know that there was a war brewing, and as soon as the king was going to die, it was going to get crazy there, because he had like a daughter and a son, and they were gearing up to go at the throne or something crazy.
Wow. It's funny because you hear about kings from other places and you think, I thought only England had kings, but turns out Denmark just has a king now, which they had a queen forever, and she decided that she didn't want to be queen anymore, so she abdicated the throne and let her son take over as king. And I was like, Denmark has a king? I mean, who else? Does Norway? I don't know.
And are those kings like in charge, or is it kind of like Britain, where it's just a figure, is not necessarily the one running the country?
The queen has some sway, I feel like, and I don't know. Like, is there still a king of France? I don't know.
I don't know.
Or
I don't think so.
Spain?
Maybe there is. I just feel like I'm so ignorant in the rest of the world.
I know.
But then we made it down to the beach, and same kind of thing with you. Like it's just a crazy, beautiful, like water you've never seen before. On a California beach or a Florida beach. Was your water warm?
It was swimming pool warm. So like when you first get in, it's like nice. that cold
shock,
a little shock, like, and then you're fine after that. It was chock full of whales though. Like nonstop whales. You could see them blowing most of the time. Not a whole lot of breaching. There was like a 5-minute span where there was like whales breaching all over the place. But anytime you looked out at the ocean, you would see them blowing.
And that's cool.
Pretty cool. But
while you're riding right as you were riding a camel, you got to just
literally
see whales. See, that's
Yep.
worth mentioning.
You'd look out the bedroom balcony, and you could look over see the ocean, and there's whales out there. So
That's
pretty cool.
We went to I can't remember at this time the names of all these places, so I apologize, but we went to this little like cove. So you hop on a boat, you go through, I don't even know if we're in the ocean or where we are. I assume it's the ocean. And we got into a cove that was made famous in one of Leonardo DiCaprio's movies when he was younger.
The Island?
The Island. And I remember Mike, or I think so. Mike would always ask me, have you watched The Island? And I was like, no. And he's like, how are you going to see what Leo saw? And I was like, well, I just think I'll be okay. Leonardo DiCaprio, let's see what it is. But we went there, and next to it is like this monkey island. Mm-hmm. And monkeys there apparently are like seagulls to us. It's called The Beach.
Oh, The Beach.
The Beach.
Yeah. The Island is a movie with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Where they're clones or something. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler? Yeah.
Isn't that a spoiler?
That is a spoiler.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, the crisis. Anyway,
right, keep going.
But monkeys are basically garbage animals there, but in our minds, monkeys are adorable and cute. And so you get all these tourists that come to this island and see these monkeys, but they're, basically like, would we go up to seagulls or magpies and be like, you're so cute, like I want to pet you and feed you? Like, no, we think they're garbage creatures. So
I was in Banff once in the swimming pool, and there was a guy there from, I think, the South or something, but he was looking up, he's like, oh my gosh, what is that bird? It's so cool. And I looked up and it was a magpie, and I was like, that's a magpie. That's a magpie, buddy. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was like,
oh,
no, it's not.
No, you know what's cool? A blue jay, a cardinal.
A blue jay, yeah. I want to see. They're like, we don't care about cardinals or blue jays. I love them.
Right. A big other thing you do there too is elephants. Now, I'll admit I did a lot of things that maybe I wouldn't do now that I'm not necessarily proud of. But we rode elephants, and elephants are super fun, playful creatures. We got to watch this show where like elephants were like painting. You've heard of elephants painting? They're like,
yeah, I've heard of that.
Legit paint pictures, and then like kick soccer balls and just play all these sorts of games. And elephants are way cool. So I remember one elephant ride, I got to ride on its like neck, right? And so I'm like patting at top of its head, like kind of holding on, and we're like scaling down this mountain. And these two girls that were in our group with us were sitting in this on like the, not a harness, but saddle, I guess, that's on the elephant. So they were just having the time of their life, and I'm literally having to grip this elephant like I can't fall off or it'll trample me.
Wait, were you sitting, there was no saddle or harness, you're just
they're like, you can sit on it, and I was like, what? Okay, I guess I'm young and stupid and can do whatever. I kissed an elephant, not in the same way as you, but I guess maybe the elephant kissed me is more appropriate than us kissing, but that was fun. We rented scooters. So you talked about how you were sad that you were in Mexico and the money you spent was a lot of money, and you thought, oh, I should be living like a king.
Yeah, right.
We did there. It was crazy. It's like 33 cents to the dollar or something when we went. So like our hotel rooms were like right on the beach in these massive like resorts where you could literally go from the pool a step and you're in the ocean.
Yeah.
And we had rented scooters to drive around this little town, and I am a terrible scooter driver, and I crashed and almost got run over by cars.
Did you pay for the insurance on it, or
no? But I was able to easily pay for the damages because it was just like,
because you're a king there.
$60.
I'll buy you 13 more of these.
Here you go. I had a great time with all my road rash.
There's $1 American.
Come find me when you come to America, and I'll treat you to dinner. highlights for animals. While you rode a camel, I got to sit on an alligator, which was kind of nerve-wracking. I don't know why it didn't attack me. But I literally sat on I don't know if it's an alligator or a crocodile, I'll be honest.
I
But
think
we got,
alligators are in America and crocodiles are everywhere else.
okay, so it was a crocodile. That makes sense.
I might be wrong about that.
I believe you. I got to pet a tiger, which is one of the things I'm not super proud of because I found out they don't really take care of them, even though they told us that they weren't drugged or anything. But then it's weird because then why were we more okay with petting these tigers if they weren't sedated? But got to pet a tiger, and that was cute.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know where the line is on animal tourism, because animal tourism is a taboo nowadays, right? And I don't think it was pre-Tiger King as much.
Oh, you're probably
You know what I mean?
right.
So you didn't know any better back then.
I didn't know any better.
And I don't know if riding a camel is okay. I feel like it is. That's what they're
I think
made
like
for.
it is because people ride them, right? Like I think of the Middle
It's
East,
like a
and
thing
that's
people do.
yeah, like a horse.
Yeah.
But a thing
But it's
people
like, is it with like? But I know that people have a hard time with elephants and like.
right.
But I don't know why, because people have been riding elephants for a long time and using them for things. But
yeah, like why can't an elephant be domesticated like a horse or whatever?
But I do feel like maybe tigers. That might be one of the lines of that sort of thing. Like after seeing Tiger King and what kind of like those types of places do, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
No,
but I still would love to hold a baby tiger in my arms.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to hold a baby tiger in their arms.
And
but we just feel the social pressures now not to.
I have, so it's good I had this former life, I guess, because I have been in a den with baby tigers, and they're adorable. I did get bit by one, but it's like getting bit by a cat.
Yeah,
like it hurt a little bit.
Right. I mean, we can get Connor on here. Our friend Connor would definitely have some opinions on this sort of thing, but
chastise us right now. I just want to relive these moments. Probably the thing I'm least proud of that I did, and I don't think is okay the more I think about it, is riding an ostrich, like you alluded to. Because the more you think about it, they got 2 legs. They probably weigh as much as me.
Yeah.
And then I'm hopping on with nothing to hold on to, but their wings, and you don't want to.
That's wild that you rode a bird, isn't it? Isn't that crazy?
And I got bucked off it because he didn't want me on, but it's kind of sad because, what am I going to hold other than their wings, which are, part of their body?
No, they don't use them anyway. They can't.
It's true. And then otherwise you're like trying to grab its neck because you're like holding on.
And its little tiny neck. Yeah, poor guy.
But it's just like running around and you're like sitting on it like I'm on an ostrich.
I mean, I saw that on the old, was it the Robinson Crusoe, when they have like their family, one of the guys rides an ostrich, but and so I've always wanted to since then, and I was really jealous of when you did it. But the more you think about it, the sadder it gets. So.
It does. You can't think about it. It's like, oh, that's so fun.
You got to do these things when you're in like your early 20s when you don't know any better.
No, it's true.
Like a 40-year-old doing it feels a little like you should know better.
Yeah, I would never go on this same trip again. It's just for stories in the end. And so now it is. You go to the beach. You just grab your drink of choice and talk about when you were in your 20s.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll post a picture or two, or you want to send me one, and we can post it on our Instagram.
Yeah, I could probably find a picture of Thailand for you.
No, of you on a camel.
Oh, I'm sure me on a camel. Oh. Okay.
Or whatever you want, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll resurface my ostrich picture.
The tour that we did said you can't bring cell phones with you. Nobody can have cell phones.
Oh. And of course, you're the only ones that followed that.
It's a safety issue, but you can bring GoPros because you can mount those or whatever.
I see.
But then they said, but if you upgrade to the private tour, then you can bring your cell phones and do whatever you want. Like, What the heck? You just because they have guys doing like photography the whole time, like taking pictures of you, and
Yeah,
you're supposed to buy those pictures.
I
But
see.
but you can bring a GoPro. So I do have a GoPro video of us on the camel, but I'm on it, so you can't really even see the whole camel. So anyway.
Well, whatever picture you're comfortable sharing.
Hmm, hmm. I can you can steal one from my Instagram as well. There's pictures on
Oh,
there
that's
that you
true. I'll
can.
just still one. Those have been approved.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing and reliving that. That's just kind of a fun episode.
Yeah.
So you guys
I
should go
am
to Mexico and Thailand.
I think yeah, I'm excited to go to. I heard that like Mazatlan maybe like has like the cheaper like the resorts are close to the town, so you can just like walk out of your resort and walk down to the town and do some shopping or whatever and see some stuff. So yeah, Cabo, unless you're there's probably resorts and hotels that are in the downtown area, but it's further away from the ocean.
Yeah.
And so you want to be right on the ocean when you're there because it is really pretty. And yeah, I'd recommend it. And I'm excited that I have heard that Cabo is not one of the best places to go as far as like that sort of stuff. Like it is, I did hear that it's the safest, one of like the safest
Mhm.
part of Mexico. Uh, but but yeah, like things like Puerto Vallarta might be better or Mazatlan, that sort of stuff. But
So if you could only pick one, would you go back to Canada or back to Mexico?
that's a that's a loaded question, buddy, because
You can only pick one.
I love the mountains. The thing
That's what
about
I
the
thought.
I love the ocean to play in it, but in Cabo, there's not a lot of beaches where you can play in it. Like it's dangerous beaches for riptides and how like it was crashing or whatever. It wasn't really a swimming beach. So I would probably still choose Canada. I love the mountains. I'm a mountain guy more than beach guy. So there you go. Go to
There you
Banff,
go.
everybody.
Go
You
to
need to see it.
Banff. We'll have to
There's
check it
no
out.
camels in Banff, but you can probably see a bear and or an
You could
elk or possibly a moose. You
what
can't
if you
ride
could
any of those things.
what if you could ride a bear? Oh man.
Oh
I just
man.
want to like snuggle with a bear sometime. How
I
cute
want to
are
snuggle,
grizzly
yeah,
bears?
with a bear, with a tiger, with a lion. I would love to just get in there with one of those
Uh
babies, but I'm also
yeah,
afraid. But the ones that you can do that with, that's the animal tourism that you're not supposed to be
I
supporting.
know.
So,
So instead we just have to become actors where we can
mm.
cuddle CGI bears.
Oh, yeah.
That could be good. All right. Well, I think we'll just wrap it up now. Unless
Oh,
you want to. Well, let's do some Brandon's words of wisdom here, and then
you don't have any old news? I guess talking about your trip from 9 years ago
yeah,
counts as
9
old
years ago.
news.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And something everybody should know is let's
Don't
see.
the animal cruelty stuff.
Yeah, the
Don't
animal
ride
cruelty.
animals you
You
don't think you should. You if you have to think if you should ride this, you probably shouldn't
yeah,
ride it.
if there's not a specific if you haven't seen it done in I don't know, I guess if you've seen I saw someone ride an ostrich in a movie.
Yeah,
Uh
just no. Listen to your
yeah,
conscience.
listen to your conscience. But yeah, the words of wisdom that I have for you today uh comes from our good friend Albert Einstein. Have you ever heard of him
Ooh,
before?
sure
Uh,
have.
he said, "It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer." And I was thinking about that because of like New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. So a lot of time people don't stick with the things they're doing. So whether it's being smart or fit or whatever thing that you want to get done, it's success comes from sticking with it longer. So uh, just like Albert Einstein, if he had a problem he was working on and couldn't find a solution, he didn't just give up, right? He kept working at it. He would find other resources, other people that could help him and maybe help crack that problem. And so, same thing with us. Don't give up. That's kind of like that other one that I was talking about when you are going through hell, just keep going
Keep
because you'll come
going.
out you'll come out the other side. Same thing here. If you have a problem or something you want to accomplish or get good at or do, just keep doing it because you'll hopefully get better.
That's very good and wise.
Unless it's something that you need like God-given talent for. There's some things that I'll just never be good at.
You just give up.
I'll give up on ever being able to be stretchy enough to like put my head backwards around my feet, under my feet. I'm never gonna do that. But
no, that's very good and timely advice, because as I was telling you off air earlier today, and we won't get into it at this juncture now, but we have a big issue with our city council, and we've been in meetings for hours and hours, and a couple of people are willing to just like accept things because they're tired of talking about it. And then a couple of us others are like, no, we can't like give up. Like we're getting closer. Yeah. Like keep doing this. Like let's keep going and making it better. So I'll admit
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've admitted at times I've been like, you know what, I'm tapping out. I don't really care about this. So whatever. But it's like, no, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going.
I've been reading the book Crucial Conversations, and they talk about that. They say like if you're gonna want to have a conversation with people, you got to stick to your guns. You can't just give up because it's, because you're bored with it. You got to know what you want. So I guess maybe give up if you don't really care. Well, but if it is something you care about, then you shouldn't give up.
Yeah, well,
even if people are talking.
And then somebody will say something that triggers me all over again, and then it's like, you know what, I do care, and I'm taking you down, and whatever you say. So,
and that's
funny
also
creatures.
Something you're not supposed to do in a crucial conversation is seek revenge.
Revenge.
Yeah.
All right.
But I love that you are on the city council, because I just love to hear all the goings on in a smallish town council. So
we're at 25,000 and growing. So could be even close to 30.
And depending on the outcome of this city council's decision, you could grow a lot more or just a little bit more.
Oh man, we were in a meeting till midnight, people, last night. It was like from 6 to midnight. It was crazy. Woof. So we've talked about that another day when the statute of limitations is over and people can't come after me for talking about it. But anyway, thanks for listening to this episode of Life LOL podcast. We hope you have enjoyed it. Make sure you listen to all our episodes if you haven't. If you're new here, thanks for being here. You can find us on Instagram at life.lol.podcast. Brandon, thank you as always.
You're welcome.
For living your life, exploring the world, and sharing it with us. Mm-hmm. And you are not a duff, so don't ever say that again.
All right, I'm sorry. I mean, I'll send you a picture of these people, and you'll be like,
no,
all right. He was not the best looking one there.
My name's Spencer. We hope all your dreams come true. Okay.
And I'm Duff.
Bye.
See you later.
No, not Duff.
Oh.